Hello everyone and welcome to the Thompson Speedway for the running of the All-Star Open here in the Sundrop Cup Series. Of course, this is the end of the inaugural season of the Cup Series. We are ready for these 18 drivers, these 18 All-Stars to tackle the short track at Thompson. But of course, I'm not here alone for such a special event that wasn't even planned for this off-season. I'm joined by my co-commentator, Peter.
It should be a fun one, folks. We saw it in the Open. We had about 50 laps of racing there. Honestly, more about 40, but it was wild. It was fun. We saw short track drama from the drop of the green to the drop of the checkered, and I think we're going to see it here. Some of the best in the sport here in the NSDCA and all American stock car auto racing here in Thompson, Connecticut at this little 5/8 of a mile bull ring. An absolute classic track for any short track driver.
We're very excited to be seeing this track, especially after the amazing racing we had at the late models last month here. We're ready to see these 18 Cup drivers go at it for this one. A lot of drivers in this field as Matty Porta goes around in this happy hour session, this little warm-up. Of course, they'll have their nice, good cars going. But here's a couple drivers that had to race their way in, of course. To lock yourself into the show, you had to win a race or make the chase in the Sundrop Cup Series season, and all weight race winners and chase contenders except for the pedal to metal racing entry of Austin Murray are in the show. But Kyle Corbett was the first driver to race their way in that 61 car. A great underdog performance from 4th to 1st in those 10 laps in segment 1 got him into victory lane. And there's your fan vote driver, Riley Spurley-Tube. They repaired that number 28, got the dings knocked out on the side of that car. He's ready to take on this field. And of course, Logan Cloud, the actual All-Star Open winner. Carson Bowers was the segment 2 winner. Gatlin Downey was the last driver into the show. And Jacob Edson, who pushed, smashed, and pulled his way into the All-Star race. He's here beside his teammate, Brady Burkhart.
Cameras aren't really picking it up, but if you're down here at that track, the paint has been rubbed off that 82. That bumper, that front nose of that Toyota Camry is chrome, so Edson really on that chrome horn here tonight. But Kyle Corbett, really strong drive in segment 1. I was impressed by his talent. He sent it like 3 wide, I think, on one of the first laps, trying to take a move, get to the race lead, and he got it done. I mean, it was a really rough Mountain Dew Custom Series season for him at Rockstar Energy Racing, but here, maybe the SDCS car is suiting him a little bit better, or Thompson is just one of those short tracks he's oh so good at.
5 more minutes here for this little happy hour session to get the fans pumped up for this action. Some of these drivers, of course, including Tim Foster, Carter Friesen, Brady Burkhart, Jack Porta, and the rest that were already locked in, they haven't ran in racing conditions yet at this track. They've only ran their qualifying laps here, and of course a short practice earlier this weekend to get all these cars warmed up. They're ready to go racing. And of course, you have all the stories coming in from this season of Cup Series competition, including Jay Jefferson finally breaking through, getting 2 championships there. Of course, Jack being on the bad end of that, coming home in 2nd. And of course, Matty Porta not returning to Sauber Racing Team next year, and another driver not returning, and Team North Border Motorsports Cody Goforth to BGM, and NBM now merging sort of with Monster, as they will take the truck and MDCS operations from Monster, while Monster takes their 6 Cup cars into next year.
It's a really weird combination there. Monster Motorsports, definitely not a team that has some of their plans finalized, going seasons and seasons ahead. It's really whatever happens, and they'll probably change it all coming Season 7 into Season 8. But I do want to mention this racetrack. It's an aged surface. You see it covered in crack seal throughout the corners, but right there in the middle line, you got this nice, fresh strip of pavement. It's been there for a few years now, but it's where you want to race on this racetrack. Just get up there, get at least your left sides into it, and you can really dig through these corners. You don't want to be on the way bottom. You don't want to be on the way outside. It's that middle line around here. Hit that sweet spot, you are golden.
But even still, we've seen in the races, we've seen in practice sessions, there's really not a groove at this track. Sure, that middle line is going to be so much better than running the very outside or the very inside. You want to get part of that pavement. But these cars are slick. It's a slick track, and you're going to be sliding up, possibly going 2, 3, even 4 wide here. And we saw that not work in the Open, especially with Stephen Wallace Jr., Jacob Edson getting together multiple times, and SWJ trying to throw it in on the inside, just no grip into these very shallow corners. And he just slid up, took out Sebastian Kukulon. You're also going to have to worry about this this exit right here. Turn number 4 is what has gotten drivers a lot in this race. Turn 2, a bit less so. We'll have to see how these corners react and how these drivers react. 18 cars, 90 laps tonight with 4 segments, sure to be exciting.
And you also got to think about the scope of this racetrack. It's here nestled in the Connecticut woods. Those grandstands on the front straightaway, they're wooden, only about 20-30 rows tall. Like, you got to think about the scope of these drivers, these big-name drivers, these multi-million-dollar teams racing here at this little small short track with these wooden seats, no safety barriers, not even enough pit stalls to actually run a full race here. There's been some upgrades into this racetrack. You see there on the inside of 3 and 4. Thompson's built a road course, rebuilt their road course from back in like the 50s and 60s, but this is a really small venue, and I like that we're going here for this purpose. You know, you can fit anybody into those like 70, 80,000 seat arenas of racetracks like Kansas. Kansas, they've been said they want to expand to like 150,000 seats just because they're the season finale and the former All-Star race holders. But having it here, having this sought-after ticket, this limited quality, it's going to be really like a once-in-a-lifetime and just absolutely exclusive and incredible experience for the fans that are here to witness this tonight.
And it's going to be exciting. You have the drivers, Jay Jefferson, Peter Onjak, Diego Yepes, the greats of the NSDCA fighting, all champions of the series. You got multi-time winners, but again, you got the underdogs like Kyle Corbett for Hagen Enterprises, who raced his way into the show. Could he win the race tonight? Riley Spurleytube even, you know, that is a TSR car, TSR entry. It's the part-time car. It's not the most funded thing, but this 28 team has been bad fast even during the season. But look at this. Harmon Benning Peterson is showing even local teams, just small teams out here, you know, with the big cup cars. They were able to snag Gatlin Downey for this weekend. Downey wanted to race for HBP instead of that 35, and he has put it into the show with a great drive holding off a fully funded DJ Curtis, who really this year, he's just been second to pretty much everything in that 5 car. But you got a lot of drivers out here ready to go racing. And what are you expecting to see in these 90 laps tonight?
I think the ticker shows that 5 of the top 6 are Dodge drivers. And you got to think how good Dodge was this year. Onjak with a handful of wins. Jefferson with a handful of wins. Tim Foster with a handful of wins. Bowers didn't get any, but he still had some good runs. Larry Hagen, he's won. He's also really good at these short tracks. Corbett's in 9th, so even him, he came out as a big surprise there in that number 61. He's getting some last-minute tune-ups here for the race. But there could be surprises, too. The BGM duo there, Yepes and Morris. Logan Cloud showed that he could pick his way up through the field in the All-Star Open. He won the whole thing, so it's going to be anybody's race. It's going to be where you can put your car for that final segment, I think. Don't worry about getting wrecked for the first 2 segments. Where can you put your car for the last segment to give yourself the best chance at victory?
And you're sitting here saying don't worry about getting wrecked in the race. You see how aggressive these guys race, even if it's not in the chase, even if it's just for a win. We're going to be seeing some short track racing. We're going to be seeing some tempers, fenders flaring, a lot of contact, and it's sure to be exciting here at this short track. These guys get to give it all because, hey, this is the last time for some of these drivers at these teams. The 77, not Yepes anymore at BGM. Cody Goforth, Matty Porta moving teams. They're here to shake down this equipment, show the teams what they're in stake for next year, and put on a great show for these fans. And of course, we got a ton watching here in this race, at this race weekend across the country. So it's sure to be exciting. And as you see there, we are ready to go racing at Thompson, but we're going to go ahead and do a quick rundown through the field and describe what this format will be for tonight's event. So on pole, Jay Jefferson, Carter Friesen in 2nd, Morris Yepes in row 2, Tib Foster and Peter Onjak rounding out your row 3, Colton Lane, Cody Goforth, row 4, Dusty Neal, Matty Porta, row 5, and then the final 2 guys in on qualifying times, Brady Burkhart and Larry Hagen in this race.
You can look here. You have your segment winner. Segment 1 went to Kyle Corbett. Segment 2 went to the 25 of Carson Bowers. Logan Cloud won the final segment there in the number 50. Edson followed him, and Downey barely edged out DJ Curtis for the 3rd and final transfer spot, and it was Riley Spurleytube edging out in the fan vote over William Duncan. 28 beat 29 into the field for the final spot.
We saw, of course, this 28 car is beat up. They had to get into that car. Even Team Boss Jay Jefferson, they were all in the car, beating the doors off of that thing, trying to hammer down the rear end. It's a beat up car, but he's in the show, and he gets to put that Germania Insurance number 28 up on the big stage. But the good thing for some of these guys starting at the back, segment 1 is 20 laps. You run the 20 laps, and you finish with that. Segment 1 winner, of course, getting a small cash bonus. And this weekend is not going to the teams. It is a charity event here at Thompson, which is very nice to see. But you do get a slight cash bonus for winning Segment 1, Segment 2, and Segment 3. But the thing is, if you win Segment 1, you start Segment 2 in the 18th position, while whoever finishes last in Segment 1 could be starting on the pole.
I don't expect any of these guys to be sandbagging. I don't think you're going to take a person running like 10th. I don't think you're going to see Brady Burkhart, who's starting there in what, 11th? Just slam on the brakes and ride down half a lap behind just to invert to the front. These guys, they're racers. They don't want to hold back. A true racer never holds back, and I don't think any of these 18 are going to be fake racers and not hold back. They're going to give it their all from the drop of the green to the drop of the checkered. Also, I do want to mention real quickly, you see that number 40, Exide, sponsor that car nearly all season, but now it is a cryptocurrency, the WEC digital currency, $WEC on all your favorite trading platforms. Make sure to invest. I was threatened with a cat with a gun to give this promotion.
And as that cat exits our booth, we are getting ready to go racing here. It will be a 20-lap opening segment, with segment number 2 also being 20 laps, but the catch is the field inverts. The finishing order from segment 1 will invert, and that will be the starting order for segment 2. Segment 3 will be up to the fans. At the conclusion of segment 3, there will be a quick poll in the live chat, and you guys will determine whether there will be an inverted starting lineup or you want to keep the same starting lineup. So possibly these drivers, they don't know what strategy they do in segment 2. Of course, Peter said, you want to get up to the front, you want to win. You're a racer. Plus, with segment 4 being the average finishing positions of segment 1, 2, and 3, you want to get as much as you can. A couple other notes to point out. At the conclusion of each segment, due to the format that this is being run, everyone who is 1 lap down will be able to get back on the lead lap. You are more than 1 lap down, you are eliminated from the competition. Also, you need to have a car running at the end, and you need to be up to pace. So if some car is really damaged, running around there blowing smoke with no hood, no rear end, they might have to park you between the segments. We don't want to see that, though. We want to see some action, and we're going to go ahead down trackside to get ready for the commands to fire the engines here at the Thompson Speedway. In about 20 seconds.
Oh, that gives these times to get on their feet. Everybody in chat to get all hyped up. Let's do this. Let's get some action. All-star, baby.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. It is 18 drivers for 20 laps in this opening segment. 90 laps in total. You still got to make it to the end. I do ask, though, before we go green for the chat, if there are any issues with the stream or streaming quality, please let us know in the chat. As well, if there is a big incident right off the bat, we will restart this race in terms of entertainment. 2001 rules. Coming down the front straightaway, we're ready for segment 1. Jefferson and Friesen lead us down, and we're racing at the Thompson Speedway.
Diving down through turns 1 and 2. They're 3 wide already. Here comes Diego Yepes with a big run up the middle underneath Friesen. Could he send it underneath his teammate for second? Probably not quite yet. Morris throws it in nearly to the back bumper of the 48. Trying to get underneath him. Can't quite do it. It's going to be JJ pulling ahead early, but Morris hot on his tail.
And here they go, going for it. Morris not going to give an inch. This year, they had to lay down and let Jay just pull away with these race wins, but this is a short track. He hasn't really been the most dominant there, and you can't really pull away to a very big margin at these short track races, and they're going to go first and second fighting back there. Yepes on Friesen, that's his driver for at least one more night here in Thompson, and you got the rest of the field. Foster on Onjak, Lane and Goforth, Porta, and the rest. Now Carson Bowers, that's segment 2 race winner. He's trying to move that 25 up into the front.
Still side by side. We got a little bit of 3 wide back there with Burkhart, Cloud, Edson falling back 4 wide back there. Look out, guys. And Edson gets some payback to 0-6 tagged by the 28. And around they go on the front stretch, runner caution early.
They're going to keep it clean, at least getting back up on track, so they should be fine. They get to race back to the line, though, and here comes that 55. He wants to lead them back. Jefferson on the outside. They're going to drag race coming off as Yepes bounces off the wall, and Jay's going to lead them back around for the end of end of this green flag part of segment 1. The rest of the field's going to be able to form themselves back up, so of course they're ready. Jacob Edson getting a bit of payback there, 4 wide back here on the back of the grid, and that'd be more important. There was a fan vote to set the segment, or to set the rules for this All-Star Open, and they had this segment format or eliminations, and that right there could have set those 3 out for elimination if we didn't indeed agree on that first format. But this second format's in, and the fans are ready to see some inversion, because you saw how early that 48, 55, 77 moved away from the pack. It might be exciting if these 3 will be starting at the back for the inverse into segment 2. But let's go ahead, get a quick replay, see what happened, bring out the first caution.
Here we go, down the back. Edson's on the high side of Kyle Corbett here. This is right at the back of the field. And all right, stutter there, but they got 4 wide and they really just ran out of real estate. You can't go you can barely go 3 wide here, and you're trying to go 4 wide, and they just all pinch together.
That is that right there. We're going to slow this down shortly. It really looks like Kyle Corbett kind of lost a bit of momentum through the corner.
Slowing it down here. Spurley Tube, I mean, Downey's pushing up the track, but it's really just everybody pushing together. I think that's just a racing deal more than anything. Corbett gets knocked around, and Spurley just trying to get the car back together, clips the 0-6. Nothing he could do, but some rubber laid down here on the front stretch in the form of skid marks, but everybody get it back together with relatively minor damage.
So with that, a simple spin, not too much damage for him, so that's good for those drivers there. They will be able to continue on and continue in this event, try to maintain, of course, staying on that lead lap to be able to go to segment 2. Jefferson led him around. This caution came out about lap number 6, so probably going back racing in about 1 or 2 laps. We'll see when the pace car lights go out. So Peter, what did you see in that opening segment? What did you see that was kind of interesting with any of these guys early on?
Look out for Diego Yepes. He seemed to really get that launch off the restart. We'll see if he can do it again here on the restart. I should say he got to jump off the start previously, but that 77 seems to be fierce, and he doesn't want to be pushed behind guys like Jefferson and Onjak, guys that have been around since season 1. And even Morris, he's falling behind Morris, who was a nobody for a lot of those early runs, but Yepes is trying to prove that he wants that status as #1 NSDCA driver back for himself and his country.
And there you see the lights on the pace car go out. Speaking of that, Jay Jefferson this year, if we are correct, of course, the record keeping pretty lackluster in terms of all-time stats. We'll have to hopefully fix that this offseason. But I believe Yepes actually lost the crown of winningest driver in the NSDCA as Jefferson racked up just a ton of wins this year, just dominated in the Cup and Trucks. So he is now really your most winning driver. And Yepes in that 77, maybe if he could take another all-star race victory to himself, keep it away from the 48, we'll be able to see that. But we're coming back to the restart zone, coming to the halfway point of segment 1.
Pace car is down. Jefferson leading them. He's going to see the green right here. It's a late restart zone, pretty close to the start-finish line here at Thompson, so it's going to be orderly right now into 1 and 2. Jefferson pushing up high. Morris trying to get that pavement, run it down just a little bit lower, ring some speed, but Jefferson has that runoff, and we're wrecking in the back. It's Hagen around right in front of Downey.
That's some heavy damage to those guys. These restarts are the most treacherous part of this track, and we'll go back to another caution. You just got to stay off each other on the restarts. That's pretty much all we could say. We saw that a couple times with Edson and SWJ early on, and it looks just similar to Riley Spurleytube's incident earlier in the All-Star Open. And that's going to be some heavy damage to the back of the 21, some front-end damage to the 06. But, of course, that 06 team, this car has just taken a beating, and it looks like they might be bringing that 06 car down pit road now. You can't come down and repair. There's no need to take tires or fuel. You take tires and fuel between every segment, but you can still repair that 06 as they go. So we'll see if they hammer down the hood. If they tear it off, they'll have to put it back on for the rest of the evening, but they probably can save that there, that Harmon Benning Peterson pit box. But now, really orderly up in front. It's just at the back that it's going to be chaotic, and it looks like that's what we're seeing all night as they do tear that 06's hood off. Going to get that prepared is Larry Hagan. Flat tire on the 21. He's going to have to bring that car down pit road to service that. But a big amount of damage to the 06 and 21 as Larry's going to bring that car down pit road. We'll take a quick replay, see what happened here to the 21 and 06 on this restart.
Down into turn 1. Porta's going to send it underneath Hagan. Probably didn't realize he was 3 wide with Lane, and that's going to send the 21 back into the wall. Downey thought he had an escape route on the high side. He did not.
We're going to go back here on board with the 06. Of course, tonight they have roof cams on every car. It's only 18 cars, so they've installed roof cams on every car. And here's the HBP 06. He's at the back. He's running right now. You see some contact in front of him. Hagan slides up. He tries to get through and would have picked up a few spots right into the back of the 21. They're going to have to repair that 06, put that damaged hood back on, and that's probably what that team will be doing during this caution period. And, of course, with as many cautions as you have, as the 50 is now down pit road. Looks like they reported a bit of an oil leak earlier. They're going to bring the 50 down pit road, so some issues already. And you notice the 50 car, he was in that All-Star Open, so they've already ran this car pretty often. It could be a weakness in parts after running those 50 laps earlier on.
Yeah, that's a shame for Cloud. They're kind of on the back foot early, but there is that invert. Hopefully he can get it repaired in time. If he can't, you fall a lap down or two, could be eliminated. But boy, I'm surprised those guys at Harmon Benning Peterson knew how to even hook up that onboard camera. They got really more of a volunteer crew, it seems like, for most of them. And it's just that just an absolute Frankenstein of a race car out here. Supposedly they're getting a new body. I've heard rumors that they might be getting a new body, possibly from another Dodge team, just to replace that mess of a race car that's been in a lot of incidents next season, or this season, I should say. But we'll see. They're in a whole lot of controversy. They have their Molson Modified Series team. They had 2 cars running last year. Adam Mitchell was doing pretty good for them, but that they stored them in a hauler. The whole hauler got stolen. So I have no clue what's going on with that team. There's a reason a lot of the critics in the league and stuff call them a laughing stock, and we'll see what happens. But might prove those doubters wrong by let alone just qualifying for this event.
Of course, that acquisition of Gatlin Downey was big to get them into the show with the underfunded equipment they had. We're going to get ready to go back racing. Hopefully, we can stay clean for these final 5 laps to go, because if not, we will end this under caution. But it will be Jefferson, Morris, Yepes, Friesen, and Onjack, your top 5, leading them down into turn number 1. We're back racing at Thompson.
Everybody pushing up the hill. Looks like nobody wants to get to the inside. Yepes is going to get turned off the 85. Gets it gathered back up. Tried to look underneath Morris. Can't quite do it. Down into the corner. Here comes Onjak slipping up to the outside of Yepes. And here comes Morris. A big head of steam underneath the 48. A huge run, some might say.
And Morris is going for it on that 48, looking for the race lead, and he's going to try to take it there as they slide in. Yepes was binged up all over that opening restart there, and now he has his driver freeze into the bottom as Morris and Jefferson into the outside wall, and they're 3 wide coming back around for this race lead.
The action is intense. Morris wanted the rear of Jefferson, but got too much of it, and Onjak and Yepes pushing up and into the wall they go.
And now these guys are going to be able to benefit from the invert, but I don't think that's what they wanted, as Carter Friesen's your new race leader. Foster second, Goforth third, Morris fourth, Lane fifth, and Onjak and Jefferson and Yepes around again, the fan favorites to win this race. all around, and that's going to bring us to the end of the opening segment here as they're going to race back. They'll get the white and yellow together as Carter Friesen in the 85 Allegiant Airlines car trying to lead as Foster's all over the back of him, and Friesen's going to take home segment 1.
Insanity here at Thompson. Hopefully some of the teams brought their metal fabricators here because they're going to need to cut themselves some new body panels, maybe even some new whole cars, it seems like, if you can patch them all together. Oh my goodness gracious. We have seen some of the best rub some fenders here. I can't wait for what the rest of this race is going to bring.
And I can't believe it. Morris, he was still trying to just slide job in front of Jefferson. They make contact there, push both into the wall. Then coming off the corner, Yepes and Onjak get together. And that right there, if you ask drivers based on practice times, based on that happy hour, based on just sheer skill, you'd say the 77, 44, 48 are the 3 drivers to beat today as they're beaten up in the back.
Oh, they're stacking up. Jesus Christ, guys. That just gave Onjak more rear damage. I think Hagen's got front end damage now. I don't know what's going on. Sorry to interrupt, but they're all going to bring him down here, get him repaired.
And that is what it will do. Carter Friesen, Tip Foster, Cody Goforth, Brandon Morris, and Colton Lane, your top 5. We're going to go ahead and cut away to the segment 2 shortly, but we need to take a review and see what just happened. Some of the best tearing up some cars and hitting each other on this opening lap, or on this opening segment, and we still have 70 laps to go after this. Let's take a quick look, though, and just see what happened to some of these drivers as they ran around here. This is that caution. We'll come back to that. We first want to take a look and see just what happened between these two up front.
I don't know if Morris thought he was back at Kansas in Season 4 or what, but gets to the inside of Jefferson. Jay gets a big run off the top. Not this lap, I don't think, but down into the corner. Jefferson gets into Morris, or I got it confused actually. So Jefferson took the role of Morris in Season 4 in Kansas and pushed him out of the way, and that sent everybody right up to the field. And now it's Onjak and Yepes battling it out up front, and they push up the hill and get into each other. Just ran out of racetrack. Both of them trying to carry way too much speed through 1 and 2.
Then you continue on. They're still kind of stacked up together. You can't go 4 wide here. Let's just be real here. And these guys are so close together. Onjak's trying to stay away from Jefferson, and they tear it up. Jay just gets hooked at the end as Burkhart just sneaks by it. But man, these are championship rivals too. They all had a shot heading into Charlotte of winning the championship, of course. But it was down to Jefferson and Onjak at Kansas. But these guys are going crazy, and some of these cars are just their Season 6 cars. A lot of these teams, maybe not counting HBP and Hagen, they might be just throwing these cars out and going for the win, here, whether they crash it or not. So, of course, some teams are going to go all out for this race victory. They want to win the All-Star race, but these guys are getting real aggressive real early here between some of the best in the business.
Now, I would make an argument for some of these guys throwing their cars out, but there's no Fords in this race. Ford is the only manufacturer really updating their body toolkit for next season, but there's none of them in the field.
And that is true. You had Kukulon just barely miss out on this opening segment here, and he was just at the edge of that. Zachary Racing did not enter the All-Star race. Unknown why, but of course DJ Gibson retiring next year as well. We heard breaking news today. Luke Rainey in the Crown Royal Truck Series would not be back for that race team. But it was a very exciting opening segment, and now with just as many as we have left, you're looking at this field. Yepes, Bowers, Hagen, Onjak, and Downey will be your top 5.
Always said people won't sandbag, but boy, it's going to be the front runners starting right up front once again. We'll have to see if they get into each other again or what happens. But Carter Friesen putting together a good performance in that 85. Him and Foster keeping their noses out of trouble so far, but now they'll be right in the thick of things starting from the back next segment.
Now, as we go ahead and let our statisticians make up the starting grid as well, let the teams repair some of that damage. What do you got to take out of this? I mean, you have some aggressive drivers, but are you thinking maybe now just keeping it out of trouble could get you into the race win instead of actually having that raw pace?
I'm in the boat that cool heads are going to prevail here. Some of these drivers, some of these big stars here, they got egos bigger than this track. They got not even 5/8 a mile. They got them as big as Daytona and Talladega, I think. So, and those are the drivers getting into one another. So we'll have to see what really happens here. But some of the more quiet guys, some of the more quiet, proven veterans here out here, guys like Friesen, Foster, looking Matty Porta, Dusty Neal, maybe even. Guys that have been around, know how to keep their cars and get themselves in the right position and winning position, even on these short tracks as well. So I think that's what it's going to have to take. But if they get in somebody else's business, then it's all up in the air.
That's going to be very chaotic there. I mean, you had Jefferson and Onjak and Yepes and Morris. Those guys are some of the fastest in the field. They were the top 4 positions in this run there. So really, you're seeing these guys possibly just going for this race win very insanely. And we could see some great racing going on there. As we've seen already, it's going to be another 20 laps. The segment with the invert is sure to be exciting. And we got a ton of drivers in this. It's Diego Yepes rolling off out in front. Carson Bowers up in the second position for segment 2. Larry Hagan will roll off in third. Peter Onjak takes that 44 in fourth. Gatlin Downey for Harmon Benning Peterson. It's going to be fifth, and we saw how good he was in that open to stay up in front and take those spots. Could we see that HBP team get back into this battle? Logan Cloud, Jay Jefferson, Kyle Corbett, Brady Burkhart, Spurley Tube, your top 10. Now you're looking at the guys. Morris was up in front. Morris was up in front. Do you think that 55 can drive back through the field in this one to get another good finish in this second segment?
I definitely think so. I mean, Morris has had just a reincarnation of himself compared to the first 4 seasons. Got some wins, contended for a title. Something I don't think a lot of drivers expected and a lot of fans really expected, but he was one of the biggest surprises of the Sundrop Cup Series last season, or I should say this season, because it's the weird off-season period, you know. So we got some of these drivers heading to new teams next season. Let's take a look here. Just in the grid itself, I think Carter Friesen's going to Sauber next year, right?
Yes, he is. He'll be taking over what was the number 20 at Sauber. It will now be the number 85. Of course, you got guys like Riley Spurleytube going full-time now for Texas Star Racing. You have, I believe, Irving Allison is running full-time for SBR, and he was in that open event. Ryan Butcher moving teams. He's going to, I believe, Texas Star Racing in a very shocking twist away from Shade Burkhardt Racing. Had 2 years there in I think 2 years there in trucks and cup total, not just in trucks.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's going to be some exciting drivers to watch, and it's sure to be exciting next year just watching some of these full-time drivers from this year in the Cup Series getting another chance at it with some bigger drivers in this fight. But as we are ready to get back racing here at Thompson, we thank you guys all for tuning in, of course, and we are getting ready for segment number 2. We would be running a commercial right now, but that segment 1 was so exciting. We just have so much to talk about from that event, and we're about to be going ready back racing here at Thompson for yet another 20 laps in this event. As there you see there, the feed has come back. These drivers are ready to go racing for round number 2. It's Diego Yepes up front with Carson Bowers, Larry Hagan, Peter Onjak, Gatlin Downey, your top 5, as we are going back to the green flag.
All right, we're going green here. Yepes here versus Bowers down into turn 1. Who's going to have the advantage? Burkhardt peeking out maybe back there, but it's going to be Downey peeking out. Here we go. Onjak wants to get by his teammate and employee Bowers. Here comes Hagan on the bottom. It's 3 wide for second behind the 77.
Bit of an abrupt start there. I apologize for that, but we are racing all 18 cars back in this. The teams were able to repair, and now you see that inside line starting to falter as Onjak makes the charge. Restarted this one in 4th. He's now your new race leader as Yepes walks it up the track, and all 18 cars still back there. 4 wide at the back with Morris trying to get himself to the front in a hurry in that 55 car.
Brandon Morris on a tear. Onjak pulling away from the field a little bit. Goforth and Lane rubbing a little bit back there. But here we go. Bowers underneath Yepes for second. Cloud, with his issue early on, doesn't seem to be affected by it. As Onjek is grip searching way up the racetrack, but back down the hill. And here we go. Still tight for second between Bowers and Yepes. Yepes trying to work the top, but Bowers hogging that fresh pavement. He's going to get a good run off, I feel. Yes, he does. Clearing the 77 per second.
4 laps into this one already. This is when that spin came out in the first one. Let's see if we could stay clean this time as Downey is really holding these guys up. There's Jefferson in that 48 trying to force his way back up to the front. He knows he has race-winning speed in that 48 car. He knows the 55 does as well, and Morris is at the back trying to work his way through. Some contact there with Jay, and you know how he races around the lap cars. The 06 pretty slow in front of him as we got an Onjado battle for the race lead. Onjak and Bowers now holding off over Yepes, Cloud, and Hagen.
Yeah, Downey was like Interstate 20 right there, right through the middle of to the Texas Star Racing cars, right in the middle of Texas, you could say. But Onjak keeping himself together. Bowers running blocker. It's Diego and one of his employees, at least for this year, Cloud. Cloud's going back to pedal to metal next season, I'm pretty sure. So, and Corbett, look at this. Kyle Corbett climbing his way up the orders. They gets real squirrely back there. Corbett is up here trying to lead once again.
Dusty Neal, Jay Jefferson getting some contact there. It looks like now you see that front group is all pretty much single file. We're going to have a flyby into turn 1 all the way from Onjak to back about Downey are right now running single file. They might just be trying to survive this race. They saw what happened in the opening segments. Now they're just trying to keep it clean as Onjak running a bit of a higher line than his driver Bowers. Bowers really gaining on him. He won segment 2 in the All-Star Open, started on pole for the All-Star Open. He has pace in that 25. As Spurley Tube was just sent to the apron almost, and they are in a gaggle back here. Outside of that as Edson turns sideways as Morris is just stuck back in this traffic.
Cash App almost crashed there on the 82, but still 3 wide, really pushing up there. Friesen and Edson, watch it. Carter's going to lift off and be okay. Foster and Friesen, 1-2. The last stage, or segment stage, whatever we want to call it, they're not making up any ground at all.
That's what's interesting here. You got a lot of, I wouldn't say underfunded cars in front of them, but some of those guys at the back, BGM, SBR, they have fast cars. Of course, you're still fighting BGM TSR monster up here, but it's shocking to see. That's 61 now that he's 3 wide with Dusty Neal and Gatlin Downey. The HBP and Hagen Enterprises cars are not backing down. They're still trying to go out there and put on a show for these fans. As Onjado now pulling away and taking off with this race. Cloud clear into 3rd, 4th Yepes, 5th Hagen, Jefferson up to 6th. Burkhart back there in 10th. He's been quiet tonight, but these guys at the back, Foster, Friesen, and Morris, they all were running very strong in segment 1. They are not gaining anything here in segment 2 as we still got a battle from 3rd to about 8th.
Look at this clump of cars right here. As they're in the wall, that's going to be, oh, Hagen might have got knocked around there at the front, but hopefully he saved it. Yes, he does. Good piece of driving there by the Royal Crown Dodge. But yeah, that was Cody Goforth and Brady Burkhart. I don't think we mentioned Goforth all night long, but he's really in here, at least in the actual race. I know we talked about it in happy hours. Corbett roughing it up with JJ. Here we go off the corner. It's going to be tight, but they make it through.
You see those Onjado cars, we said in the pre-race, Dodge was going to be what you got to beat. And right now, outside of Cloud and Yepes, this top 9, this top 10 is all Dodges except them. Morris into 11th now, gaining some spots. Burkhart and Goforth got in the wall, so they are now at the back of this one. They might be starting up front for segment number 3, depending on the invert for the fan vote, as we see this flyby down into 1. Now kind of 2 packs starting to form. We've seen some good racing, or some close racing here, but they're keeping it clean mostly, as we're already 14 laps through this one, coming around to 6 laps to go in segment number 2.
Gotta think these guys are racing so hard. They're gonna be burning so much fuel, wearing their tires off. Well, they get new tires and get a full tank of fuel at every segment break. Bowers up the hill. Cloud's gonna have a big run on him, and Onjak might be all by himself out front as the pack might close in on that 25.
You remember back to segment 1, I said you can't really pull away here at the short tracks. Well, Onjak's showing that he can. He's out to almost right there, 1 3/4 of a second ahead of Bowers, who might just be running defense now in that Angiato in second, Cloud in third, Jefferson fourth, Yepes fifth, Neal, Corbett, Hagen. There's Downey, but Morris now into 10th. Looks like as this run's going on, he's starting to bring that 55 alive as they are 3 wide back there between Foster Lane and Friesen. That's going to be close between them. But again, these drivers mainly staying out in front and staying clean. 44 Onjak off to the races, though, over the rest of this grid.
Seems like Friesen is really uncertain about being on that lower line on corner exit. He can't really get the power down enough. That car seems to want to float on him a little bit, and he just can't get the grip he needs to compared to the runs some of these guys on the outside are getting. His Spurley tube is shaking it down the front straightaway.
That's the second save for Spurley in this second segment. And that car, it was beat up from the open. They were able to ding it out. Now he's right now 11th. He's still outside of the top 10, but running this thing. Now Hagen all over the back of his driver for this weekend, Kyle Corbett. And for next year, Corbett driving that 61 full-time in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. As we got a battle for second starting to heat up. Bowers, Cloud, and Jefferson Yepes. They have the fast cars to beat. They're trying to show on Jack that they can tear through this field and still maintain pace. No one's going to catch Peter as we come to this white flag. Peter is gone, but the rest of the field's still fighting for those spots, trying to get the best position they can for segment number 3.
In the offseason, season 3 to season 4, the trade happened. 1-for-1. Cloud for Bowers. Bowers for Cloud. And now they're side by side. And Jay Jefferson trying to spoil the battle for second. Here he comes. Does he send it into the corner? Yes, he does. Look out, folks. Anjak's going to get the segment. It's going to be a big run to the line. Bowers hits the wall. Cloud gets it. Jefferson third. And Carson comes home fourth.
Yepes 5th, rest of the field. Jacob Edson there in 18th. So as this field comes around, they're going to come down their cooldown lap. A nice cleaner race than the segment 1, which might have been a bit less of action-packed, but still, that's going to keep all 18 cars pretty much clean, so not too many repairs going to be needed for this transition between segment 2 and segment 3. We're going to go ahead and take this to the polls for the fan vote. We will see. Do the fans want to see an invert or not for segment 3?
While we're waiting, let's talk a little bit about season 7. Maybe I can get into some of that here. So, I'm expecting a lot of tracks to come back, especially at least in the Sundrop Cup Series and Mountain Dew Custom Series. We saw some really good action there. Darlington was the big surprise this season. They changed the track just a little bit, and it seems to really work out. It actually got its Crown Royal Truck Series date returned. We never thought we might even come back there, but sure enough, we did, and that was just as good of a race. So Darlington in the SDCS might be moving later on into the season. Richmond and Memphis, they ran 2 short track races last season, the SDCS. Now they might be dropping back to 1. I'm not sure if some of the fans aren't too happy about going to the same venue multiple times in a season. So a lot of people want 26 tracks for 26 races. Daytona went to the Pensacola Road Course opposed to the Pensacola Super Speedway because the Super Speedway was not passed by a safety inspection. Is it ready for this year? We're not 100% sure. Also want to mention Las Vegas. It was a staple of the series. It's still a staple of the MDCS. Second race of the season. Will it come back? Is it ready for an upper series date again? If you remember, was season 4 of the Crown Royal Truck Series. A lot of those speedway races weren't too pleasant, and I think that's what got Vegas off of the schedule.
And yeah, Las Vegas, of course, had some scary incidents, including Jake Galloway's big crash there back in, I believe it was season number 4. The NSDCA looked at it, did not get it on the Cup Series schedule for last season as they wanted to go to some new venues. Some of those new venues were good. Some of those new venues flopped, including the Pensacola Road Course. But it is rumored that Las Vegas is making a comeback. It's also rumored that ISM, Phoenix Raceway, could be getting its date back to the Crown Royal Truck Series. You have Dover, New Hampshire in there. There's been rumors about Sonoma coming back to the West Coast Swing, but a lot of fans have not enjoyed that racing there. And of course, we told Thompson before this race weekend, if they could get a full 40-car pit road, they would be on the schedule. So we have to see still as they go on. Hopefully this season there will be more of a run than the more of a schedule out before the season than after the season started, just like last season. But it is sure to be exciting, and we're sure to have some great courses on the schedule here. And we're going to go ahead and end the poll there, right there, as they have taken the stats. And it will be an invert for stage number 3. And we will see if drivers Peter Onjak and Jay Jefferson can drive their way through the field and possibly get themselves to the front in another 20-lap dash. So we're going to go ahead, take a short commercial break while we get ready to go racing once again here at Thompson. And we will bring you guys back to the action after that for what hopefully will be segment number 3.
Nice looking
Satellite
jacket.
feeder
Special
back
edition.
Leather.
Name your price, man. Your hat.
Some people will give anything
Hey, Jack.
to own the special edition NASCAR 2000 jacket. But it's yours for just $169 when you buy any Exide Select battery. And you'll be helping the kids at Duke Children's Hospital.
Hey, Jack. Where's your hat?
Look for details wherever Exide Select is sold.
Nice hat.
Thanks.
What a beautiful day. He's so dirty. Call Four Seasons.
Dirty air conditioner? Clean it up with a Four Seasons AC tune-up. Lower utility bills, increase AC lifespan, and guarantee a breakdown-free season for only $89.95.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
All right, as this segment 2 wraps up and they start to form the field for segment number 3, we like to thank everyone again for tuning into this evening's entertainment. We had a good All-Star Open, a lot of chaos, a lot of drivers fighting for their spots. And then you have, of course, a lot of drivers in segment 1 getting into it. Segment 2, a lot more clean. Peter, what are you thinking we're going to be seeing here in this segment number 3? Is it going to be clean? Is it going to be a bit more chaotic? What's it going to look like?
I think stuff's going to start heating back up. These guys waited around, laid down, and I don't think the fans really want like that. I'm sure some did and some didn't. I know a lot of those guys out there want to see the beating and banging, the excitement of segment 1, and I think that's exactly what we're going to see this segment. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be can't-miss action here at Thompson.
Now let's take a look back to that segment 2. You had Morris starting at the rear, but he wasn't able to get too far up until around lap 14 of that segment. We got another 20-lap segment up in here. We got three really very fast cars in Yepes, Jefferson. You can throw Bowers in there, and even Cloud, who's really shown some speed after that issue earlier on in the event. Are they going to be able to drive through the field, drive through these guys, get up there, and possibly win segment number 3?
We'll have to see. I mean, the guys that started in the back segment 2, they didn't really go anywhere, so just have to wait and see, I think. But could we see a surprise here? I mean, I'd have to take a look at the starting order because I don't really remember it, but let's see. Let's take a look. Who's up here? Who is going to be starting up at the front? It's Edson and Goforth. I think those are going to be some drivers to watch out for. Edson, we saw what he could do at the front of the field in the Open. So if we see that again, oh boy.
And Edson, he might just be throwing blocks like it's no tomorrow, especially a super speedway racer like he is in that 82 car. You got Carter Freeze and Colton Lane up here. Tib Foster in the 40. Matty Porter, Riley Spurler-Tube, Morris, and Downey in your top 10. Corbett, Hagan, Neal, Yepes, Bowers, Jefferson, Onjak, all at the back. They're going to have to drive their way through the field. It's sure going to be exciting there here at Thompson. So we still got time to go. We're going to be going racing for yet another few laps here at Thompson. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can keep it clean. But again, you got some rivalries heating up from earlier segments that could start to boil over as we get down into crunch time with just 50 laps to go.
Here we go, rolling off for, I think, what, another 20 laps of action, right? Yep. Okay. Edson, Goforth. Two of the drivers that were quiet this season. Edson didn't make the chase. Goforth did. Goforth still with the part-time stripes on, even though he ran the full season. It's all good. It's the all-star race. Let's wreck them up anyways. Let's see what happens here. Edson down into the corner. Here comes Friesen on the bottom. Going to be a big run.
And Morris slows up that entire bottom line. Corbett, Neal stacking up. Now they're 3 wide up here for spots. Monster Motorsports getting aggressive. Edson dropping back. They're 4 wide. Go forth and Edson bounce off the wall, and they keep it straight. And Edson's getting all the payback from that earlier All-Star Open. Everyone's giving him the nudge, as now we got the battle for the lead. It's Burkhart in the 99. Where did he come from? Coming after Carter Friesen for the top spot.
Burkhart and go forth. Wait, no, that's Friesen. Jesus Christ. Burkhart and Friesen pulling away. Friesen nearly into the outside wall. It's a smattering of cars behind them. But here we go. Brady into turn 1, trying to push Friesen up the hill. Friesen, what kind of bite does he get off? He can't get the bite on the bottom. He gets a little bit better bite on the top. Down into turn 3. Who outbreaks who? Friesen a little bit later up the hill. What does he have? Nothing.
And as we're looking at that, Foster now making his way up. Remember, the way that segment 4 starts is whoever has the best average finish from the first 3 segments will be the race leader for that final 30 laps in this event. You see, Bowers, Yepes, Jefferson, Onjak, it's so tight up in front of them that they can't get through. Corbett and Morris bouncing off of each other. Everyone's tearing up as Bowers to the bottom. Edson still getting abused out here as he almost comes right back into Hagan. And that 82, Neal, heavy crash in the 94.
Oh, God. Diego, oh, God. Neal's all right, ain't he?
Yes, he is. I'm not injuring anyone in the All-Star race.
Oh, my goodness.
That is still a vicious hit.
That was Cody Hagan flipping again here. Having war flashbacks.
And heavy damage, and that's going to be it. Yepes' car blowing up. Dusty Neal torn up. That's going to be the first 2 out of the All-Star race. And as we said, you know, just to break the realism here, I'm not going to injure anyone in the All-Star race. This is an exhibition race. I'm not going to kill Dusty Neal because we don't have safer barriers here. Anyway, back to the action. Brady Burkhart now out in front. Yepes and Neal are done. No way those 2 cars are going to continue on. Jacob Edson's been beat up in this segment, and hopefully, Neal, that team, they're just getting him out of the car, and he's receiving a standing ovation as he's being loaded up into the ambulance right now in that 94 car. Thankful, of course, for the safety here, and good thing it's a slower speeds, of course, here, but that is still a vicious hit head-on into the outside wall. Neal and Yepes both out of this one. 16 cars still left.
Oh, Neal. Oh, my God. Another wreck with the 77 Monster Energy car. We got to go back to Texas. Neal's like first or second start. Nearly won the thing in the NSDCA, but it's going to be a 16-car All-Star race now. That all started with Edson and Hagan getting together, I think, and they just got 4 wide and just ran out of real estate. Was that the lap before? I have short-term memory loss here in the booth, but let's see what happened, folks.
They have called a red flag, stopping Burkhart right at the scene of the action, so that's great to see there. So he'll be in all the debris, but we will go ahead, take a quick replay. And this did start here, Jacob Edson all the way to the bottom. I'm pretty sure, yes it does, it starts there. So we're going to go back just a little bit further because Edson was being used up in this event. Already you see him here. This is not when he got into the wall. I think it's next lap when he gets into the wall. Here, and he hit there. I forget who he hit first.
Wasn't it him and Goforth lap like 1?
Yes, okay, so we're gonna just take a quick replay of Edson here. So he's out in front over Carter Friesen, going to the helicopter shot, gets shoved 4 wide, now he's 4 wide, Goforth gives him a punch, and into the outside wall. Nicely, they kind of hit square together, so they did not end up spinning each other. Then he comes back, and I think this lap, he kind of tags the wall, Gatlin Downey above him, hits there, but this is where everything happens, as Edson's in front of this very big pack.
So Neal is 3 wide middle here, Hagan on the top, Bowers on the bottom. Bowers is going to drop back, calm it down, and he throws it in anyways. That pushes Neal up the hill. It's going to be the 77 giving him a little touch, but unrelated to this, Hagan clips the 82, sends him down the hill, merges right back up, and Neal into the back of Hagan, and they just ramped off the wall. A vicious, just a devious lick right into that wall for Yepes, and Neal just a terrific impact.
We'll go
I'm trying
ahead.
too hard.
we'll slow it down here as you watch. He actually made contact with Hagen in front of him, but it just ramps it up the wall. Big hit. Yepes basically on his roof there. Yepes flips over. Neil doesn't. He just hits very hard as Yepes goes flipping down the banking. But that is 2 cars very torn up here at Thompson, and you're going into a braking zone, and you pinch together, and you just ramp off. And thankfully, though, for Neil, he hits it a pretty hard hit, but it's more that Yepes kind of absorbs some of that side impact. He hits pretty hard up there, but thankfully a passenger side hit, plus Yepes kind of breaking his fall there, and Yepes somehow able to drive that car away after flipping 3 times. So 2 very torn up race cars, and that takes out one of the fan favorites in Diego Yepes as they roll the cars once again. But now Yepes out of this one. Still got Onjak, Jefferson, and Bowers in the back. This could really just open it up to anyone getting up here, especially Carter Friesen, who right now won segment 1. If he wins segment 2, he could possibly be starting top 5 in segment number 4.
I mean, these Sundrop Cup Series cars are pretty safe. I think the only injury in one was Jose Perez, I believe, but that's just because Joseph Strigley Racing fills their cars with hollow roll cages. Brady Burkhart in the lead, Carter Friesen in second, and that is Tib Foster back up into the 3rd position. Colton Lane in 4th, some of the more quiet drivers. Matty Porta 5th, so I'd say some of the more quiet 5 here so far in the All-Star weekend. Currently 1 through 5, so good for them.
That's nice to see. You also got the 27, 28, 06 up here. There's Morrison 9th. He could be starting pretty strong up if he can gain some more spots. He gained a bit in segment number 2. We're coming here through segment 3. Of course, if you're just joining us, we are under caution for a major hit with Neil and Yepes, and that leaves 16 cars on the track for the remainder of this one. We'll see if the rest will be able to continue. Some fan favorites at the back that we might be seeing now as we're going to be coming over halfway through segment number 2. We still got a long way of racing to go. 40 laps left, including all of segment number 4, the final segment of the day. And we're really looking at this as they're going to go get the 1-to-go signal here. Friesen really looking to get his 2nd segment win of the night.
We'll have to see what goes on. Do they keep it clean? Do they realize the severity of that wreck and say, we can't be doing that here. We got to wait till the last segment. So I have to see. But we got an all-star race. We got all-star cars next season. CRTS is going to be the 82 for Shade Burkhart Racing. Tib Foster going to be one of the drivers in that, I think, at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And in the NBCS, it's going to be Evernham Racing. I think that only has 1 confirmed driver for Road America. So all-star races, all-star cars. Some of these guys in this field will be racing in your lower series as well. Burkhart back on the grass. God, gas. We're green.
Shepherd Racing getting a lot of mentions in the booth tonight, even though they're not in the race. That's how much you love Shepherd Racing. As Jefferson about to turn Edson. Edson getting all the payback. He's in every incident tonight as Foster was the one making the move. Burkhart up the track. That's going to cause Friesen to slow down as Friesen's drifting it through the corner. And Foster trying to hang on as Friesen is wheeling that 85 on the outside line for 2nd.
Look at this! Tib Foster to the inside of Brady Burkhart fighting for the race lead. Oh, it's all smiles in the What Coin pit boxes. Here he comes, roughing up Burkhart through 3 and 4. Give the 40 the race lead, trying to get his 2nd segment win of the night.
And 2 cars. Big hit. It's Jay Jefferson in the back with Cloud. They're going to continue on. No caution. So this could be big. If these guys fall multiple laps down, this could be the end of their night. And Jefferson with heavy damage, but Cloud has even worse damage. Now Foster up in front. Burkhart all over the back of Friesen. Everyone making contact. They keep it straight down the front.
They save it.
And Lane now right to the back of Burkhart. Jefferson's in, Cloud's in. This could be the end of the night for Jay Jefferson in the 48 car, as now Friesen's going back for it. They gotta get out and stay on 1 lap down. If they're more than a lap down, their night is over. Foster, Friesen, Burkhart, your top 3. Lane and Porta, your top 5.
Why didn't they throw the call? I don't understand that from the race officials. Like, yeah, we've had cautions, but I don't. Maybe in the final segment, but yeah, they're gonna go 2 down. Their nights are gonna be over. Unbelievable.
And that will be your 2nd one. Cloud's gonna be the first one out there, but he is gonna fall 2 down unless they get a caution right. Well, even if there's a caution right now, it's done. So those two are done. Cloud and Jefferson are over. It's going to come down now to their teammates. Carter Friesen fighting up here. Larry Hagan still in this with Riley Spurleytube. They're moving through the field as Foster shoved up the track. Here comes Friesen in the 85, and he's going to lead with 4 laps to go.
Boy, overcooked that corner, Tiv Foster. But now Friesen going to nearly do the same. Foster going to try and cross over here. Down the back, really tight to that left rear. Talked about these two being clean earlier on, but now they might not be so clean. Here we go. Coming down to the final moments. The vice is tight here at Thompson. Friesen leading. Foster driving it down into the corner. What can he do? Friesen a big lunge so far, but Foster using that new pavement. Here we go. Down the back, side by side once again.
Going to the wider angle shot, looking at the battle for third between Lane, Burkhardt, Porta. You got Morris, Downey in there, Spurleytube, Goforth. Now Onjack's starting to pick up some spots, but you're coming 2 laps to go. Can Foster get around Friesen? These two finished 1-2 in segment 1 when all the good drivers took each other out. And now Foster trying to get that win now this time in segment number 3 as we're going to come down to the white flag there. Can Burkhardt get up there in the 99 as he pushes Lane out of the way? Coming off the corner, they get the white flag.
Here we go. It's single file up front. Probably won't be for long. Porta trying to look possibly there on Lane for about 4th. Can't quite get it. Friesen trying to pull away so far. Who's going to have the best average finish? What's going to be the starting lineup coming down for the next segment? Friesen, the hill. Foster way too far back to get a run. Morris and Porta going to drag race to the line for about 5th. Porta gets it. Onjack can't get by. Go forward. And we are down to, I believe, only 14 cars, depending if they let Cloud and Jefferson race.
Jay Jefferson has parked the car. He is done. Logan Cloud 2 laps down. That will eliminate him from the event. So we will have 14 cars remaining as they're not happy with each other. Edson and Hagan tearing each other up. It's after the caution. That doesn't count. Friesen, Foster, Burkhardt, and Lane up front. Friesen with his 2nd segment win of the night. Foster's second segment of the night. And now we have 14 drivers left to decide the All-Star race. That is true.
We got to get a replay of that defining incident between the 50 and the 48. What went on?
So this is a lap earlier. We're going to watch this as Onjack is on Cloud. You got Jefferson fighting Edson, and that's going to start it off. I don't think he's too happy with Edson. But now Onjack up the middle here in this 44. No, Jefferson down to the bottom of Edson, kind of stacks him up and puts Onjack into Cloud, and they're going to hook together. And a big hit as Jefferson actually rides the wall down the front straightaway.
Boy, I know one of that 48's done, but that 50 car still drove away. I'm not sure how slow he was. I mean, look at the lap times if you really wanted to. I don't know, 2 laps. I'm not sure Cloud's going to be too happy about that. It's going to be the only driver eliminated tonight out of any of the races, the opener, this one, just on the lap count. Oh, man, you can see how frustrated he was.
Yeah, almost coming down and nicking that pit wall. He was trying to hurry up. So we're going to be going to scoring there to see if there will be it. They might actually take a look at the officials for not throwing the caution. That might give Cloud the loophole, but that car is beat up. They're going to have to really tear it up, but they are going to protest. You hear right now coming in, Monster Motorsports is going to protest that incident as they wanted the caution to come out. It should have. They'll see if they will indeed give Cloud the spot back into the All-Star race. Of course, this is an exhibition race, and it is for charity, so there's nothing really on the line. He'd most likely be starting segment 3 or segment 4 from the 15th position, however.
Well, we can look at it right now, folks. Let's take a look at his lap times. See if he's up to pace. I mean, if he's up to pace, there's a really good argument to see keep him in the show, or might have to penalize Onjack for that one.
Cloud coming on around here on his final lap of the event. You'll see it on the last lap up above. It's 21.655. These guys out in front running 20 and 21 second lap times. So he's only about 6 off in that car. They have these 15 minutes to repair, so they're going to go and work on this 50 car, but they're not sure if they will be able to get that. They are also looking for Onjack to get a penalty in the 44 car. in that, as we're hearing from the 50, but he is basically under a second, which is pretty much, he's hitting, let's see, 121 into the corner. If you're looking at the minimum
He's 2/10
speed,
off his best lap.
his best lap is also about 4/10 off of everyone else in the field, but the NSDCA will take this opportunity under break to review, to check with the officials, and to possibly give this 50 car a chance in the All-Star race after this. We'll have to see, though, under this. So, in your opinion, Peter, what do you think the NSDCA should do? So should they let that 50 race, and should they give the 44 that race penalty?
It's one or the other. I mean, Cloud is eliminated right now. If you let him in, there's really no extra point to penalizing Onjak, because he's not going to start that far up the grid. I mean, yeah, he did get, I probably will, did win a segment, but he's probably going to be right around 9th still. So I don't know how much gain is going to really come out of this. I guess we'd have to see what the order's going to look like first. Or do we have a fan vote? God only knows. It's a charity race. It's an all-star race. Let's live it up. Want to penalize it, penalize him. I don't know anymore.
So we will see as this goes on. They still got to calculate all the average finishes, get everyone in. We know for certain, though, because they did not cross the line at the end of the race, Jay Jefferson, Dusty Neal, Diego Yepes are out of the event. No matter what, they cannot bend the rules for that in 3 retired race cars. So now you're seeing 14 to 15 cars left. That could mean a much cleaner race for these final 30 laps, but still, these racers are hard. And you have a green-white checkered in this final segment, if it is to happen. So we'll see what'll happen in this final segment here as they go. But they will be taking a look at the average finishes. Get that back. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break once again, and bring you guys back to the action here at Thompson to decide the final 30 laps in the final segment of the night.
I think I'm dreaming. When I'm here with you, I feel the love. It's a gift from above. You always give me everything I need. Every day, Lord, it sets me free. Yeah, I can feel the love. Yeah, I feel sheets love. You fill me up with love both night and day. This is what I feel, what can I say? Yeah, I can feel the love. I feel sheets love. I feel the love. Yeah, love.
For every turn, a twist. For every start, an untimely
We want a
finish.
commercial or talking or anything?
For every win,
Okay.
someone who loses it. For every number, a nation. For every celebration, a brawl. For every split second, years of work. For every heaven, a hell. For every good old boy, a good old girl. For every curse, a prayer. For every ounce of order, a jug of chaos. For every twist, there's a turn.
After that commercial break, the NSDCA has received the average finishes and will be running, getting ready for this race run. as we go, but we have received word from the NSDCA. Logan Cloud will be allowed to race the All-Star race. They have repaired the car in that 50 car, so he's going to have to start from the 15th position no matter what. He would have started this race what it believes to be 9th. He would have started 9th, but they will put him 15th for getting those laps back, though that was in the original rules there. If you did have to fall back on getting a lap back, you'd start the next segment was at the rear. So he will be starting 15th, but there's 30 laps to go in this one. Trying to find the last driver that is eliminated, but we'll go ahead and read out the starting lineup for this event. But first of all, Peter, do you have any predictions? Do you think who do you think would be on the pole for this event without looking at the stats so far?
Maybe Carter, maybe Foster. Colton Lane might sneak up into there. I think he didn't do pretty. He did pretty good in stage number 2. You know, it could be Downey for all we know, because he. Oh, second one was bad, but 2 and 3, he was right there in the mid pack. So, have to wait and see.
So you did say the correct top 2 there in a not in the order, but it is. Even though Carter Friesen got 2 segment wins, the driver who finished second in both of those, Tim Foster, with an average finish of 5.6, will be the pole sitter for this final 30-lap stint. Second is Carter Friesen. They have a 6th place average finish. Then it is Morris in the 55, 3rd place average with a 6.6 average finish in those three segments there. It is a tie for the 4th position, and that will come down to who had the best finish in the night so far, and that is Colton Lane with a 4th place over Matty Porta's 5th place in segment number 4, or segment number 3. They get a 7.6 average finish in those cars. P6 will go to the 44 Peter Onjak. They did not penalize the 44. It still technically was a racing deal with not having enough room, but they have put Logan Cloud back into the fight for that. A tie for the 7th position will be an absolute tie between Cody Goforth and Brady Burkhart, both finishing 3rd in segment 1 and 3 respectively. It will be the nod to Cody Goforth with the better second best in 8th versus Burkhart's 10th in segment 1. A tie for 9th through 11th, that will give it to Logan Cloud, who would have been there. He will start 15th, so it will instead go to Gatlin Downey, rolling off in 9th with a 7th place finish in segment 3. Riley Spurleytube ties them. He will roll off 10th with a 9th place finish in segment number 1. Kyle Corbett rolls off 11th with a 10.3 average finish. Carson Bowers, who had a very strong car, they will start back in the 12th position in that number 25 there in this field. You got Carson Bowers 13th. Larry Hagan Bowers will be 12th. Hagan will be 13th. Jacob Edson with the worst average finish, 13th average finish there, as he will roll off there. So let me just double check that we have this lineup ready for this final event here at Thompson, and we're sure to be exciting. It's sure to be exciting. Peter, what are you seeing in these final 30 laps? It's the longest stint that they'll run all night. Will they be having the same intensity we've seen in the last segment?
I think it's going to be that, if not more. There's no holding back now. You're in the last segment. You got to go for it.
I can see that. You got a lot of cars fighting for it, and we're just about ready to go racing here. And we aren't, because I forgot to put it to 20 laps. So we will continue on. I don't know. What do we got? What other Season 7 news do you have seeing this season, Peter? What have you seen in the news as of recent?
I don't know. Let's open it up. Let's take a look here. We got Anderson Reed joining Joseph Wrigley Racing in the 63. So that's certainly a combination for the Truck Series next season. Got a beautiful looking 67 for Toyota Racing Development. No bias there at all. Abernham, we already talked about that. Riley Spurleytube has DuPont coming aboard. I think that's the first time DuPont's been on a car since 2008. 2008, 2009, maybe. I'd have to brush up on my NASCAR history. Other than that, Chris Stottlemyre was signed for a Molson Modified Series ride. I don't know. What else can we talk about? Let's turn it to our audience. Fans, you got some questions for us? Go ahead and ask them. Dang on, I gotta get a phone call. Jesus Christ.
As you could hear, Shepard is calling Peter in the booth right now as he's been giving him free shout-outs. Of course, if you want to sponsor a Shepard Racing ride, they have Duncan on the Cup car next year, and they have a Cup car, so you're welcome to join if you are a sponsor. Shepard Racing looking for sponsors in the NSDCA. That is absolutely no bias next year as well. But as we are ready, we will go ahead and not talk about the Monster Motorsports lineup. We already said you have 6 cars. Now, of course, they have Colton Lane and Carter Friesen in this fight up front. As we are getting ready to go racing, 15 cars left. Somehow they were able to piece that 50 car back together. It's really torn up. We are ready to take a look and see what will happen in these final 30 laps tonight. Sure to be very exciting with Tib Foster up front, Carter Friesen second, Morris, Lane, Porta, Onjack, Goforth, Burkhart, Downey, Spurleytube, Corbett, Bowers, Hagan, Edson, and Cloud, your top 15. Fans, go ahead, make a note in the chat right now who you think's going to take home the victory in the All-Star race. We've had some picks in here of Onjack. You still got Onjack and Morris, 2 very fast cars. Carter Friesen, Tib Foster, also very fast tonight. We got 30 laps left to see who will go ahead and take a victory tonight here at Thompson.
Taking a quick look at the chat. Diego Yepes back to Shepard. Yeah, I don't know about that one. We have a big question here. Somebody looking to get an Evernham Motorsports ride. I don't know if that's for a one-off, full-time. We'll have to see about that. And I see we're on one of our backup pace cars tonight. The pace car has become white. So, Tib Foster, Carter Friesen leading them down. Morris, Lane, Porta, your top 5. Here we go. Bring them on, Brandon.
And we are ready to go racing. 30 laps to decide it. No matter what, you're finishing this race, checkers or wreckers. Foster leads him into turn 1 as we go green at Thompson. Coming off the corner here.
Straight away, even Stevens throughout a lot of this field. Here comes Foster. Going to be challenged by the 55 of Brandon Morris. Nearly into the side. Washed it up the hill a little bit. Foster getting the drive off. Here we go. Top 3 trying to break away a little bit. Porta settling into 4th. Goforth challenging him, though. And Morris still dogging Tib Foster for the lead in the cat car. Can't quite get it. Morris banged into the side of him. Banging Tib Foster all the way through turn 2. Doesn't get it, though. Goforth driving it in the Sirius XM like a satellite down on the inside. And now it's Morris and Foster side by side once again.
Somehow keep it clean. I think we saw the yellow, and it's Cloud and Bowers. So even if he gets back into the show, he's still around back there as Morris is taking the lead. Cody Goforth has shot out of a cannon in that 27, making moves to get by Friesen. Onjack in the 44 on the back of him as they come off the corner. It will be the Valvoline 55 leading them back around. But Cloud and Bowers go spinning down the back straightaway. The two that were in a very big move in the Season 3 to Season 4 off-season, getting together here in the closing laps, the closing stage of segment number 4.
Foster and Cloud and Bowers nearly destroyed each other. They're racing back to the line. I don't know. I think David Sherps is our race official and race director, whatever you want to call it. He is actually awake this time to put it out, and we're back under caution here early. It's going to be Brandon leading. Foster, Friesen, Goforth, and Porta.
Now we're going to go ahead, take a quick look, see what actually happened here. And you're at the back of this one. You got everything to do, and this one looks a bit weird. You're gonna have Kyle Corbett on the bottom, Downey, Spurleytube right there, a Dodge Sandwich in front of him. It looks like he checks up to get out. No, he actually gets hit by Corbett just slightly, spins him up the track, and Cloud just hits him in the back. And those two go spinning down the front straightaway. So 2 cars spinning around, and Logan Cloud going around, not having a good night, got back into the segment number 4, and he's still going around at the back. We do want to take a quick look, though, and watch this battle for the race lead as Morris just moved him out of the way, shoved Foster wide. Goforth was all over Friesen. We're going to go ahead, get you guys back to the live feed as we continue to pace around. Coming in now, just 25 laps to go here at Thompson.
Luckily, oil is slippery. That's why I think Morris and Foster may have not driven themselves right up into the wall. But we'll see. We got a lot of racing left. We got a lot of time left in this one. I don't think 55 and 40 of tempers over Boyle. Those two can know to get a little bit feisty when they get upset. So I have to see what really goes on. Matty Porta. It's been a past what 2 seasons with Dodge. Just this season? Oh God, I can't remember. But Porta has been in this Castrol 20 for a lot of his career, and I believe Castrol is fully gone next season from Porta, if I'm not mistaken.
That's something to note with that Monster Motorsports move. Zachary DeLello also making move to Monster. Anderson Reed also going to Monster as well. Reed keeps his longtime sponsor, Wawa, but DeLello and Porta have lost Castrol and Applebee's for next year. They have not signed back on in the move to Monster, so you got to wonder. Monster Motorsports has been a very controversial team, but they have been very strong. They've moved a lot of drivers around. They've gotten a lot of strong drivers next year, and 6 cars deep, but they're losing a lot of sponsorship. Surprising not to see. Of course, Colton Lane still has Vornado, but you've seen Monster Energy on these cars a lot this year. You got to wonder if those sponsorship woes are going to continue for Monster into the future.
We also have we got a few at for that 44 Orange Auto. I think maybe some of his bigger sponsors, bigger backers wanted that title because Pennington and Reese's are gone from large-scale partnerships with driver of the 44, Peter Onjak. Pennington, I believe, is gone completely. Hershey's will still be supporting the team, but definitely in a relaxed role. Carson Bowers has lost some as well. Aflac is going. Discount Tire is going. Verizon is most likely out the door as well. So Bowers getting a complete refresh next season. Definitely let down in the eyes of sponsors last season. I think Morris has everything coming back though, as he brings us back to the green. Look at that.
22 laps to go here. Thompson still a long way to go in this race. Morris, Foster, Friesen, Goforth, Porta. Your top 5 is Onjak's going to be the early move to the inside of Porta. And here we go. We're racing once again at Thompson in segment number 4. Onjak up to 5th. Can Cody Goforth finally win a race in the NSDCA top 3 series? It might be an all-star race win as Foster now to the inside of Morris as he goes wide. And it's going to be almost dead even across the line as Foster leads that lap.
Deb Foster back to the front. Maybe not for long. Morris see what he can do on the top. Chevrolet side by side between the 27 and the 85 right behind him. Foster clear. Maybe not quite. Nope. Here we go. Pushing Morris up the hill nearly right onto that rear panel. Can't quite get it. Foster is clear now, and it is Friesen versus Goforth for 3rd. Onjak is looming, though. Here we go. Morris back underneath for the race lead.
That's going to be some contact there coming off the corner. Goforth and Friesen making contact back there. Onjak waiting in the wings. After segment 1, he's really just been mid-pack this whole time, but he has a car to beat. Here he comes now looking for that 4th spot on Goforth, as now these two continue to fight for the race lead. 19 laps to go here at Thompson is now Morris clears back to the top. Foster into 2nd. Friesen 3rd. Onjak's clearing to 4th. Looking the rest of the way through. There's Corbett. Bowers, Hagen fighting at the back. All 15 cars still on track. All pretty much clean as the top 5 single file up there as Porta bounces off the wall.
Cody slipped back just a little bit down to 5th. Not too much loss considering he started the segment here, this final segment, in 7th. Morris in the lead, trying to pull away from Foster, who's being threatened by the 85 of Friesen. Friesen looming in the distance there. Here comes Foster following Morris up the hill. That's going to open the door for the 85. He finally gets the bite on the bottom of the racetrack. Here he comes underneath the 40 for 2nd.
Now here they go, continuing to go at it, but Onjak might be able to use that outside line to get around Friesen. That's how he got around Goforth. Don't count out the SBR 99 of Burkhardt. Lane is there as well. Kyle Corbett, Gatlin Downey. A caution comes out. These two could be in the fight for the win. And Carson Bowers, Logan Cloud have picked up a few spots. Maybe they have cars coming to life up there. Spurley Tube, of course, in that damaged open car. He's continuing on around, but now the top 6 looking to be single file as Burkhardt slides up, going to make the room on the inside for Colton Lane to show that 05 back into this top fight.
Nearly everybody in this field are grizzled veterans of the NSDCA, but you got guys like Colton Lane, Kyle Corbett in this field. Oh my lord, save it! Nope! Oh, no! Burkhardt in the wall!
There is no caution for that. They all kept it straight. Unlike the earlier incident in segment 3, I don't see the need for a caution there as Porta and Burkhart bounce off the wall. Brady not going to be happy with that, as SBR's been the punching bag all race long. Friesen and Foster, though, spinning around up front.
Foster. Oh, look out. Oh, look out. Look out. Yo!
And they all make it back around. And if the caution came out at the right point, Foster could still be battling, possibly for this top 5 up there, as Morris leads him around. Onjak second, and I think Foster will get the nod for third. Spinning around the front straightaway sideways, he might be third. And HBP might be 6th in the All-Star race.
Oh, boy. We've seen some incidents here. Once again, like I said, the ante has been upped. They're going crazy here as Foster might be pitting. Why is he off the gas so much? What? Or is he just trying to get in line? I think he's just trying to get in line. Rack him, stack him here on the backstretch at Thompson. But boy. It's the 55 and the 44. Are we at Chicagoland again?
Hopefully not, because that 55 team wants to get a race victory, but it was at Thompson, or was at Chicagoland where Morris dominated that race. Onjak got around him and won the race. Cody Goforth is third. Somehow and some way, they race into the show as the last car, and he sits 5th on what could be the final restart of the race with only a handful of laps to go. But we got to take a look and see what happened, because a couple cars got in the wall, couple cars spun around. We got a lot to discuss on this set right here. We're going to start off with Lane and Burkhart getting together coming off of 4.
Coming through 3 and 4. Lane on the inside of Burkhart. Absolutely throws it in. Burkhart not too happy. Tries to get on the power. He's got Porter right behind him. Gets underneath Lane. Hooks him. Lane not too happy. Just door slams him right back up into Porter. And Burkhart rides the wall and really clips it there. It's a weird jut out there right in turn 1. Burkhart gets it back together. Now Burkhart's okay. Looking up to the front. Here we go. Friesen washing up the hill with Foster. They both wash up and run out of room. They push together, and around they go. Onjak finishes Foster off. Foster gets it back straightened up, and Friesen will get it back straightened up, but that's enough to bring out the caution. And once again, the right choice to call it, because it's going to be a dead shootout. I can't wait.
I really can't wait either, because we are coming to the end of this night. 80 laps have been completed in the All-Star race here. The Open was amazing. The All-Star race has been chaotic. We have tempers and fenders flaring. The 55-44, they were involved with Yepes and Jefferson earlier in the event, segment 1. Those two are out of this. It's now the BGM teammate to Yepes for one final time in the race lead, and the alliance partner to Jefferson in second. You got Cody Goforth in third, never won in a National Series competition. The last time North Border Motorsports will have a cup car, at least for the foreseeable future. They sit third. Colton Lane in fourth, who missed the chase because he couldn't catch Hagan at the end. He's in fourth. And HBP, I don't know what better of a way to end the evening here and end season 6 than seeing this car in victory lane. Foster in 6th, though, with tempers up. Porta in 7th. Bowers up to 9th. I don't think it's going to be, there's enough time for guys at the back to get up here. But we could be seeing the top 2, maybe the top 5 coming out of turn number 3, or turn number 2, 5 wide, coming down the back straightaway on this restart.
Well, who's in the back? Who's not likely to win? Let's take a look. Spurley Tube's been back there a lot of the day. Burkhart's been involved in wrecks. Cloud's been hurt. Lol Cow of the week, probably Jacob Edson back, stuck back here as well. They got Friesen, who's pushed down the order on those scuffed tires now. Hagan hasn't done much all night. Bowers really hasn't done much all night outside of segment 2. And Corbett on up can really fight for this one. Don't hold back, boys.
Here we go. There's no reason. There's green-white checkers, and the NSDCA has unlimited ones on this night because they don't have to worry about fuel being an issue. Green flag's back in the air, and the 55 with a massive jump over Onjak. Foster's already going to look to the inside of Downey right there, side by side for that 5th spot as they all wash up the hill, and Foster's trying to get it away from the 06 of Gatlin Downey, but will the 44 be able to catch and pass the 55?
Onjak, a short track maestro, looking to the inside of the 55. Here he comes down into turn 1. Goforth, stalking, waiting in the wings, watching for these two grizzled veterans to knock into each other. Morris trying to swing the top. Got a little bit too high, can't get the run. Down into the 3. Who's going to outbrake who? Onjak later pushing up. Contact is made. Onjak clears for the top spot.
Now you got cars further back. It looks like Cloud and Edson might have hit the wall. They're really close back there. But now Foster's up to 4th. This 40 car's coming. Now Morris onto the back of the 44. He is right there, touching him coming off the corner. There's going to be 5 to go this time by. Can the 55 get back around him? Can Foster or Goforth get up there? As they chase each other up the track. Contact off the corner as they're door banging down the front straightaway.
What a corner by Brandon Morris. He's going to throw it into turn 1 as well. What happens? Fans on their feet. You should be on your feet as home as well. Onjak trying to get the top. Can't get the run quite just yet. Foster coming in to intervene. Trying to help out his teammate. Foster's got the other Mississippian in this one. Goforth is right behind him. Morris still with the advantage. Few laps to go in this one. Morris led at the line. What is going to happen here? There's 4 to go.
And we still got time. You still got a chance for a green-white checkered if these guys start crashing to the back. But Morris clears. Onjak in second, trying to chase him back down. Foster is there in the 44. Morris up the track. Onjak back to the bottom. More contact as they come off the corner. 3 to go. It looks like there might have been a spin at the back. 1 car into the grass. That's Logan Cloud.
Should be good. Should be good. They're driving this track like a dirt track, though. Everybody trying to work these lines, crossing over slide jobs here at Thompson. Now Foster trying to get underneath Morris. Morris at the top side. Foster, does he want it for himself? Here he comes!
And Morris, he's not going to push Onjak. Right to the inside. 3 wide. 2 to go with Thompson. And here they go for the lead into 1.
They're all rubbing. Morris up the hill. Onjak keeps it off the wall. Here comes Foster down toward 3 and 4. Morris is in the lead. 1 more time around. White flag, folks. Here we go.
Was that all for Foster? He is falling back on that inside line. Can Onjak get back there? Will Morris top him? Here he comes. Morris up the track. Onjak keeps it low, but he's too slow off the corner. Foster's going to fall back. They have one last chance at it, or the 55 takes it. Through 3 and 4. Foster all over the back of Onjak, and it's going to be Morris. Into the wall off the corner. He wins the All-Star race at Thompson.
Wow, what a race. What a race. This track cannot miss.
We saw everything tonight. We saw controversy. We saw crashes. We saw 3 wide for the lead with 2 to go. Drivers not giving an inch here at Thompson. And I don't know how you can go any better than that. 3 wide, maybe a 3 wide run to the finish. Morris pulled away at the end, but that was a great job, great drive by all of them. And you see Onjak going around saluting the fans. Yet again this year, he comes up second, but I don't think he could be too disappointed in that. He gave it his all with Morris, and those two have fought for wins all season long. Those two ran very well tonight. Foster 3rd, Goforth 4th, Lane 5th, and look at the HBP car. Gatlin Downey 6th, Kyle Corbett 8th. What a night and what a finish here to cap off Thompson.
Oh, I'm ready for next season to end so we can do this once more. What a race. The All-Star Open was all right. Some of the racing here was all right. The early segments, going through the motions, but those final 8-9 laps, incredible. Incredible.
And what a way to see it. The NSDCA has had a lot of cautions ending at the races and possibly causing, that fuel strategy, that issue. No need for that in such a short race with segments like that. You don't have to worry about fuel strategy. You just have to worry about going and giving it your all. And they gave it their all. A ton of cars racing hard for the end. You saw Logan Cloud. That car was beat up. Pieces were falling off of it a segment ago, and he was trying to drive it over the dirt with a few laps to go after getting sideways off a corner. He kept it clean. You had drivers pretty much a lot of these guys were going off-road. A lot of these guys were sliding it around, and we had a lot of cars beating and banging for spots. I can't say anything more, but what a finish here, and it's sure to be exciting. And hey, even if this track cannot fit the Cup, Truck, or Mountain Dew Custom Series yet this year, the Modifieds and the DPDS have made this a staple on their schedule, and they will be returning later in the season. Sure to be exciting, especially with those younger guys trying to prove it all. They don't want to give an inch either. But Morris takes home the victory. Onjak 2nd, Foster 3rd, and Goforth and Lane. Really, those Chevys coming alive in this end. And Gatlin Downey, great job for him. Kyle Corbett, great job for him. Carter Friesen ends up 15th after being involved in that incident. Heartbreaking for a driver who won 2 segments tonight. But I don't know what you could say. It was a very exciting race tonight here at Thompson.
There's not a whole lot to say. I think if you missed this one, You need to watch all of it. Just incredible.
And with that, our night of the All-Star race is over, and that also caps off all season number 6. We'll be coming back in a couple weeks, actually, for the testing to begin in the Cup Series and Truck Series. We'll be getting those lineups sent out to you guys soon enough there. As well, Daytona is only a couple months away, and that is sure to put on a show as well. We had a great night under the lights at Thompson, and if that didn't get you on your feet and cheering in the stands, I don't know what will. Beating, banging, tempers, fenders, flaring. We had it all tonight here on the NSDCA. The Sub-Drop Cup Series comes back next season at Daytona with the Mountain Dew Custom Series and Crown Royal Truck Series. Sure to put on a show as good as this with the DPDS and MMS going to Homestead. We still have late models in this offseason. We still have testing coming up. So a lot more action ahead of you for the NSDCA. On behalf of Peter and myself, the All-Star Race and All-Star Open went out great. We had a lot of action here at Thompson. Thank you guys all so much for watching every race here. See you guys next time on the NSDCA.